Guilds and factions are a prominent part of any fantasy world, and the Elder Scrolls is no exception. Any Elder Scrolls player will know about the three major guilds: the Fighters Guild, the Mages Guild, and the Thieves Guild. But those aren't the only guilds on Tamriel. Practitioners of the arts, sciences, and other fields of study all have their own organizations. In 2E283, the Tsaeci ruler of the Empire, potentate Versidue Shaie, was faced with a problem. The provinces of the Empire were in open rebellion against his rule, and war and unrest had proliferated like never before. Shaie thus launched a campaign that lasted for 37 years, which finally resulted in the quelling of rebellion across Tamriel and the complete removal of any army besides his own. However, almost all the gold that was in possession of the Empire had been used up, and crime spread like wildfire now that there were no standing armies or militias to guard against it. Thus, in 3E320, an organization known as the Septims was launched, a group of exclusively Akavir workers for hire, in order to generate wealth for the Empire and fight against the growing lawlessness. The Septims was so successful that Shaie allowed other organizations to come under Imperial sanction. Thus, in the year 3E321, the Guild Act was signed, allowing several new guilds to pop up across Tamriel and increase the Empire's funds by the paying of fees. The Act also officially sanctioned the Mages Guild, and the Septims became known as the Fighters Guild, and allowed non-Akavir to join its ranks. The Act mentions all of the following: the Actors Guild, the Architects Guild, the Astrologers Guild, the Barristers Guild, the Brewers Guild, the Cobblers Guild, the Cooks Guild, the Furriers Guild, the Healers Guild, the Masons Guild, the Prostitutes Guild, the Rat Catchers Guild, the Scribes Guild, the Tailors Guild, the Tinkerers Guild, the Vintners Guild, and the Weavers Guild. There are other minor guilds mentioned elsewhere in lore. The description of an item in ESO known as the Caravanier's Canteen implies the existence of a Caravanier's Guild. An NPC in Redguard named Kotaro is known to be affiliated with a Laborers Guild on Stros Makai. The description of the Sun's Rest holiday in Daggerfall mentions a Merchant's Guild. Cities that celebrate this holiday close down stores completely for the day in observance of the holiday. And, if any store doesn't close, then they are heavily fined by the Merchant's Guild. The official Daggerfall strategy guide, the Daggerfall Chronicles, mentions two other guilds, the Cenarist Guild and the Mercenaries Guild. I mentioned the Cenarist Guild before, but I'll quickly go over it again. The Cenarist Guild is an organization for Tamriel's bards and troubadours, each of them belonging to a specific province or city, with their base located deep within the Dragontail Mountains. Its members are charged with being tour guides and spreading knowledge about history, religion, and culture to all who seek it. In 3E370, their leader, Nesmit, created a sect of scribes that would record all historical events, with their notes and books compiled into 1,000 volumes. The Mercenary Guild was a guild that had sway over the Mages Guild, and its members needed to pledge their loyalty to Vichamp, the guild's leader, if they wanted to advance. Much like guilds, no fantasy world or story would be complete without valiant knights, serving rulers and defeating evil throughout the land. These have become less prominent in lore over time, as the aesthetic of the Elder Scrolls shifted from old-school sword and sorcery to more modern fantasy. Still, there are tons of knightly orders that exist all across Tamriel. Knightly orders were first introduced in Daggerfall. Most regions, kingdoms, and even temples had their own groups of knights serving under them. For the purposes of the game, they operated as factions, with the player being able to join them and rank up as they complete quests and train in skills. The Knights of the Dragon protect the Kingdom of Daggerfall. The Knights of the White Rose protect the Kingdom of Wayrest. The Knights of the Flame protect the city of Anticlare. The Knights of the Hawk protect the Kingdom of Santaki. The Knights of the Owl protect the Kingdom of Glenpoint. The Knights of the Wheel protect the city of Ababan Gora. The Order of the Candle, previously known as the Knights of the Moon, defended the Kingdom of Sentinel. The Order of the Raven protects the Barony of Dwinin. The Order of the Scare protects the Kingdom of Totambu. And the Host of the Horn protected the Barony of Lainlin. The Host of the Horn served the ruthless Baron Shrike in the late Third Era, who ruled the land with an iron fist. Shrike's brother, Lord Cain, started his own group known as the Host of the True Horn, and launched a coup in Laneland. They were utterly destroyed, however, and its members were scattered across Tamriel. There are other knightly orders that appear in Daggerfall, though they are not joinable factions. For example, there's the Order of the Cup, which served the Plessington clan of Ekalon. They weren't nearly as large as the other knightly orders, but were devoted to solving problems throughout High Rock. Each of the temples devoted to the Divines also have their own knightly orders associated with them. You can technically consider these paladins. The temples themselves are joinable, but not their legions of knights. Knights of the Temple of Stendarr are known as the Crusaders. Knights of the School of Julianos are known as the Knights Mentor. Knights of the Resolution of Zen are known as the Knights of Iron. Knights of the Order of Arche are known as the Knights of the Circle. Knights of the Temple of Kinnereth are known as the Kainaran Order. Knights of the Benevolence of Mara are known as the Maran Knights. Knights of the Akatosh Chantry are known as the Order of the Hour. And Knights of the House of the Bella are known as the Order of the Lily. There is also mention of the Order of the Lamp, which served as protectors of the members of the Mages Guild, as well as the Order of Diagna, a Yokudan order of Ansei that was dedicated to the deity of the same name, and were most prominently involved in the Third-Year invasion of Orsinium. Future games introduced us to other groups of knights, such as the Buoyant Armigers in The Elder Scrolls III: Morrowind, a military order dedicated to serving Vivec. The Elder Scrolls IV: Oblivion introduces us to the Knights of the Nine, the Knights of the White Stallion, and the Knights of the Thorn. ESO introduces us to several groups of knights, such as the Welkinars of the Somerset Isles, who utilized armored griffins to fly across the nation from their base of the city of Cloudrest, and the Witch Knights of the Reach in Skyrim.